home. They say it's where the heart is. In Cleveland, Ohio, more fans call this home than any other sports venue in the city. Over 2 million fans poured into Progressive Field last year, the most in nearly a decade. What they witnessed was history.
It's a walk-off for number 22!
The longest winning streak ever in the American League, and a second consecutive divisional title. They watched a dominant pitcher win the Cy Young Award. And the birth of the game's newest star.
Start the fireworks show!
Fans cheered the thunderous bat of Francisco Lindor and the amazing acrobatics of Bradley Zimmer.
Unbelievable catch!
They rose to their feet, entrance of Andrew Miller, and tipped their caps to the relentless Cody Allen.
They struck him out to end the game.
Today, fans will cheer for the familiar faces they've come to admire and welcome some new ones too.
Yonder Alonso jumps on a pitch. It's deep to right. A grand slam for Yonder.
This house is made of concrete and steel. And it's maintained by passion and undying loyalty. Home. There's no place like it. The Cleveland Indians home opener is next on Sports Time, Ohio.
Now the payoff pitch. Runner goes. Brantley lines at the left field. Fair ball. Down the line it goes. It kicks off the sidewall. Lindor's coming around third. They're going to wave him home. And the Indians will win the opener in walk-off fashion. Maybe a little bit of irony. Michael Brantley, last year's home opener hero, activated today, and he is back in the starting lineup as the Cleveland Indians welcome in the Kansas City Royals for the 2018 home opener. Yonder Alonso, Francisco Lindor, hoping to get the Indians rolling offensively. They've been a little slow out of the gate with the bats. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Nothing like opening day. The pageantry, the color, the emotion. Forget about the weather. This place is ready to rock and roll here this afternoon, and it's great having Michael Brantley back in the lineup.
It certainly is, because he lengthens that lineup out, Matt. He can hit behind Edward Encarnacion. It doesn't matter if a lefty pitches or righty pitches. He only played in 90 games last year, and this is a very important man into that lineup. He's a veteran. He's a true leader on this ball club. So anytime you want him in that lineup.
Last year, Arch mentioned 90 games, hit 299. This guy could fall out of bed and hit 300. You don't worry about him losing his eye at the plate or his timing. You just hope he can endure the rigors of a long season.
Yeah, he's got a flair for the dramatics. It doesn't matter with Michael. The game never speeds up on him, and his teammates are happy to have him.
We're happy to be here, happy to have you with us, and we'll be right back with today's first pitch. It's the home opener between the Cleveland Indians and the Kansas City Royals. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who Bought W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians, and by Cleveland Clinic Express Care online. Tap the app for 24/7 virtual visits. Yes, indeed, the boys are back here at Progressive Field, just about ready for game time this afternoon. And before that occurs, we go downstairs and welcome in our pal Andre Knott.
Thank you very much, Matt. For the second year in a row, Carlos Carrasco gets to open up the home opener. And for him, he feels like this is something he appreciates and he's ready for in today's Hear Right Sounds of the Game.
Yeah, it's going to be so special, you know, like you said, on the road and at home, no matter what. But I think the more important is winning some game, and that's the way it is. So we kind of start a little bit slow, but we're going to get there. So I think coming back home is going to be a big difference for us. A lot of fans waiting for us to play over there, and I can't wait for that.
Well, Tito and Brad Mills talking it over as we get ready for baseball, and Cookie Carrasco will be the guy in the center of the diamond who had a great year a season ago.
And no doubt about it, he's our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. He's 1-0 this year. He won in Seattle. In that ball game, it wasn't vintage Carrasco. Gave up a couple of home runs, but 5 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs allowed, but they were able to put 6 on the board and get him that W. He is 9-6 in his career against Kansas City and 2-1 last year.
John Jay steps in to lead it off for Kansas City. 41 degrees will be our game time temperature. The key is a very stiff breeze blowing in from left and left center field. Carrasco's first fastball misses for ball 1. And a fastball again wide of the mark, 2-0. Now the 2-0 offering, and that finds the outside corner. 41 degrees, but according to the Weather Channel, with the wind chill, it feels like 34. So just above freezing is what it feels like out there on that field today.
Well, it's a matter of being able to grip the baseball if you're the pitcher and get a feel for it, because I know one thing as a hitter, it's awfully tough to play in conditions like this. You'd never want to get jammed, and you'd never want to hit it off the end of the bat, that's for sure.
Well, John Jay couldn't catch up to that 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Carlos Carrasco. And now the 2-2. Flared into center field. That'll drop for a base hit. And John Jay is aboard to start the game for Kansas City. The rest of the Royals lineup for manager Ned Yost looks like this. Whit Merrifield batting second. Mike Moustakas is going to bat third. Lucas Duda, off-season acquisition, will hit cleanup. Then Chesler Cuthbert will hit fifth. Jorge Soler is batting sixth. Then Alex Gordon, Alcides Escobar, and Drew Butera, the catcher, will bat ninth. Now Whit Merrifield.
Merrifield, a very good year for the Royals last year. Fits into the number 2 hole beautifully here. He goes the other way. He likes to stay on the center of the field to the right side. That's his kind of swing. Had a great spring training, as did a lot of the Royals, but they've had some hard luck weather to play in so far this year.
In the 2 games Kansas City played in Detroit, Merrifield went 1 for 4 in each game. He knows Carlos Carrasco well. He is 6 for 12 against Cookie. John Jay, the runner at first, has a steal. He's also been caught once already. And on a day like this, got to be tough to get your legs under you to think you can steal a base. Line to right, that's going to be trouble. Down the line, cut off by Geyer. But on his way to third is Jay. Merrifield digging for 2, and he'll go in safely with a double. So Kansas City is out quickly with runners at second and third and nobody out.
And that's one reason why he hits Carlos Carrasco so well. Did you see this swing? It's a fastball away. He stayed on beautifully. I mean, that ball right down on the outside part of the plate. And that's a pitcher's pitch, and he does a beautiful job to just keep that ball and serve it to right field. It'll be a double. That'll be his first of the year. And for the Royals, that's only their 6th. So a good start for them in the top half of the first inning.
And now Mike Moustakas set the Royals single season home run record last year with 38. He grounds one towards second base. Kipnis will take the out at first. Kansas City will take the lead as John Jay comes home. Moustakas with his second RBI of the year. Merrifield moves to third on the play, and it's 1-0 Kansas City.
Let's check out that Indians defense, brought to you by Ram. In the outfield, Michael Brantley, welcome back. It's his first start, just coming off the DL in left. Rajai Davis in center, Brandon Guyer over and right. On the infield from third to first, it's Jose Ramirez, Francisco Lindor, Jason Kipnis, and Yonder Alonso, with Yan Gomes doing the catching.
Indians will bring the infield in as Lucas Duda steps into the plate. And he can't catch up. Carrasco throwing it by him.
Well, you decide to bring the infield in with the big hitter, and this is a guy that you can strike out. He can swing and miss a lot. The infield's tight. You see where Lindor is right up the middle, almost like a three-man on the right-hand side. Do not give him any swinging room. Look out.
That goes flying over the protective netting, but it lands on top.
I want to see if it rolls down like a ball.
It is stuck as stuck gets.
Yes, it is. He's going to have to get a new bat, because that's not going anywhere. I mean, that thing took off. He tied him up, and that thing just goes up on the netting where it protects the people sitting behind this home plate area, and that's going to stay there for a while. He might be able to have that for tomorrow's game.
I'm going to have to call Spider-Man to get that one back.
Well, now a chance in an 0-2 count. He can go for the strikeout.
Whit Merrifield, the runner at third base. The infield still in, hugging the grass around the horn. And the 0-2 offering.
Good pitch.
Guyer is deep and right. Oh, what a block by Yan Gomes. He picked it clean. That saves a run.
Yes, it certainly does. I mean, that ball looked like it was down at his feet. It was a changeup, and he spiked it down there, and that is really a terrific play by Gomes. You don't know how hard that play is because it's so far out in front of the plate. You're just guessing at where to put your glove, but it ended up going right in.
Now 2-2 the count. And he just reaches out, breaks his bat, gets a base hit into right field, and it's 2-0 Kansas City.
Yeah, slowed it down for him, and it was a changeup. He kept his hands back, and that ball might have been down out of the strike zone. So he does a nice job after being down 0-2. That's the slider. It shatters his bat off the end, but he kept his hands back enough.
So the Royals jump out to an early 2-0 lead. And Cheslor Cuthbert to the plate. Breaking ball had him out front. Cuthbert's hit in all 4 games Kansas City has played. And he's a career .316 hitter against the Indians, covering 76 at bats.
Well, they're in a sort of a rebuilding mode, Kansas City is, but they're not full throttle yet because they have some good young prospects that they're going to keep down at AAA, a couple of them for a whole year. But we may see some of them before this year is out. As many times as we play Kansas City, you may see some new names coming up.
Now the 1-2. to short. Lindor goes to second. There's one. Kipnis on to first. It's an inning-ending double play. But Kansas City scores 2 on 3 hits. The Indians are coming to bat when we come back.
Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher. Duffy lost his first start against the Chicago White Sox, where he was able to pitch 4 innings, gave up 7 hits, 5 runs. He walked 2, struck out 5, but surrendered 3 long balls in that game.
It was a really weird start for Duffy in that game against Chicago as Francisco Lindor steps in to lead it off for the Indians. In that game, Duffy retired 8 of the first 10 batters and struck out 5 through 3 innings. And then, out of nowhere, the next 7 of 10 reached in a 32-pitch 4th inning. Yeah, it's got to leave you scratching your head if you're Ned Yost, wondering what happened.
Well, again, I look at it this way: a divisional rival, but you know, a lot of the Chicago hitters don't have a big history against Duffy. The Indians were able to beat him 3 times last year. He was 0-3 against them.
And he's 3-0 against Francisco Lindor. Up high, it's a 4-pitch walk. Indians starting lineup. The rest of it looks like this. Jason Kipnis, brought to you by Progressive. Jose Ramirez, then Edwin Encarnacion. Michael Brantley back in there hitting 5th. Brandon Guyer is 6th. Yonder Alonso, Yan Gomes, and Rajay Davis batting 9th. Jason Kipnis. He's already 3 for 5 this year against left-handed pitching. That's a good sign.
Well, there's 3 lefties in the lineup today for Tito. You've got Kipnis, you got Brantley, you got Alonso, and Danny Duffy's pretty good against lefties. Since the start of 2016, they have just a 175 average. But
and away, ball 1.
The lefties that you're going to have in here, they can handle their own against left-handed pitching. No big deal. I mean, you talk about Kip and Brandt, and Alonso's been fine.
He has missed on 6 in a row, and that's going to send Drew Butera to the mound for our first mound visit of the afternoon.
Well, he figures I got to talk to him, man. He's having a tough time throwing strikes, and this weather could do it. Look, he has no sleeves on. And you said the wind chill, it's down in the 30s. I mean, that can't feel too good, but it's about gripping the baseball. So you got to make them get in the strike zone. Don't help them out. And I'll tell you, that doesn't bode well for your defense because they're on their heels. You look at the guys out in the field, they'll have their hands in their pockets. They'll be doing anything they can to try and stay warm.
He gets one in the zone. It's 2-1. Cal Eldred is the new Royals pitching coach this year. That's low, 3-1.
And it's basically been all fastballs. You know, he's trying to do. He has a good changeup. He has a good breaking ball. But he's trying to get to that number one. Command it. Find it.
Foul back in a full count. So as a hitter, when you see a guy struggling early in the game like this, you don't want to help him out, but you still want to be aggressive, don't you?
You key on. You know, you make sure you look for your pitch in your location, whether it's middle, or whatever you want to do. Kip is a good low ball hitter. Look down in the zone and get after it if you get it. If you don't, you take it. Make him throw strikes.
Lindor draws a throw before the 3-2 pitch.
Well, he's pretty quick to the plate. I see that slide step that he has from the left side, so I don't think you're going to see anybody running here in the 3-2 count now.
Francisco Lindor is the latest to adopt the new batting helmet.
Are you kidding me? I didn't notice.
Ball 4, and Kipnis draws a walk. So the first two are aboard for Cleveland. Take a look at the storylines today. Carlos Carrasco, boy, against the Central Division last year, he was dominant. These are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. And the top of the order for the Indians, Lindor, Kipnis, Ramirez, they are the igniters. If these guys can set the table and get things rolling, then I think you'll see this offense take off.
Well, they're going to start hitting. It's just a matter of, of time, but you have to be patient.
Well, Ramirez showing bunt, almost got hit by the pitch. Good stop by Drew Butera. It's ball 1.
Taken all the way. He's just trying to ruffle the feathers of Danny Duffy, I believe, when he squares around to bunt. No way you want him to bunt.
See how windy it is down on the field.
Sure can.
Up high, 2-0. That wind was expected to gust up around 25, maybe 25 plus miles an hour here this afternoon. And with the temperature barely 40 degrees at game time. Upstairs, 3-0, and Duffy has thrown 2 strikes so far this inning.
Yeah, 13 pitches, 11 have been out of the strike zone. I'll tell you what, he's doing a favor to this Indians offense right now.
And now Duffy with a 3-0. He just barely caught the outside part of the zone. 3-1. Couple of walks early for the Tribe bodes well. They came in with the lowest team on base percentage in the majors so far this year. Drops it up the middle, and it's through. A base hit. Lindor around third. He will score, and the Indians answer right back with a run here in the bottom of the first. The first 3 have all reached, and the Indians, Danny Duffy, backpedaling in a hurry here this afternoon.
Well, this is a thing. If he knocks it down, it's one thing, but you can't touch it. He's falling over, and you can see that ball's by him and right up the middle. So that's a break for Jose Ramirez. He gets a big base hit. Lindor comes around to score, so one of the walks hurts, and the Indians cut that lead in half, make it a 2-1 game.
Well, you're right. If he comes up with that play and turns a double play.
Well, the good thing is it was just a little behind him as he was going through his follow through. But hey, when you're going bad, something like that could happen. But that's a good sign.
Starts Edwin off with a slow hook. It's in for a strike.
Yeah, because primarily it's been mostly fastballs, to what I can tell.
Oh, he balked. He started into his, or no. What do we got here?
Well, the umpire, I'll tell you what. See, the home plate umpire, I'll tell you what, he didn't put his hands up. He did not put his hands up to call timeout, and that's what Tito wants to know.
Roberto Ortiz is the home plate umpire.
Watch. His hands do not raise to give him timeout.
Oh, Edwin was asking for time. He never gave time.
That's a mistake. He never, and he shouldn't have given him time because he was ready to go. That should be a balk.
Now all I can figure, Arch, is he might have said, yeah, he might have verbally said
I don't think
time.
so. I'd love to see that. It doesn't look like he was sitting down. He was getting lower to look at the pitch. And that's exactly what Tito's asking him. No, I was going to give your hitter time. He painted himself in a corner is what he's doing. No. That was a bad call.
Teddy Barrett, the crew chief, is coming in trying to rescue Roberto Ortiz.
I'll tell you what, he knows better. He was wrong, and Tito's letting him know that, and that's why he can get away with it. And now he's going to tell the crew chief. I don't remember this guy behind home plate in this crew last year by any means, so he must be new. And I'll tell you what, he did not give timeout in that situation. It should have been a balk.
Two on, nobody out. And an 0-1 pitch coming up to Edwin. In the dirt, nicely blocked by Butera. Encarnacion started the year with 4 hits in his first 10 at bats, and 3 of those 4 hits were home runs. Since then, 0 for his last 10. But the Parrots are here.
That's a good day to be a Parrot, man, because you got a little extra feathers on you.
Down and in, 2-1.
That's what maybe Andre should wear. He should become part of the Parrot Festival.
The Parrot Club?
Yeah.
Red's not his color.
No, it's not, but he'd be much happier.
2-1 pitch. In the dirt. Another good block by Butera.
I'll wear the Parrot costume when you open that window up there.
Oh, hey, come on, it's open, Andre. What are you kidding me?
I see the radio guys. They got theirs open. What are you guys doing?
That's good. You'll see them sick tomorrow with Kleenex. They're professionals. I'm not.
There's a 3-1 pitch, and it's ball 4. Duffy has walked 3 of the first 4 hitters, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. That's going to bring out not the pitching coach, but the manager, Ned Yost.
And I'll tell you, he tried changeups, he tried sliders with Encarnacion, and the last one was a fastball. He just doesn't have a feel for it right now, and he's lost out there, and I think that's why Ned's going out to deliver his message. What are you worried about? Throw the ball and get in the strike zone. I mean, look, everybody else is just looking. This is a one-on-one conversation. Yeah. Those other guys have nothing to do or say.
You're hearing. You don't want to look at them.
Yeah, no, they're pretending they're hearing. They don't want to know anything. Let's go. He just challenged him right there. All right, now that we have an opportunity, let's set the Royals defense behind Danny Duffy today. In the outfield, John Jay's in left, Alex Gordon in center, and Jorge Soler is in right. At third, it's Mike Moustakas. At short, it's Alcides Escobar. Whit Merrifield is at second. Chesler Cuthbert at first. And Drew Butera behind the plate.
Nice standing ovation for Michael Brantley as he comes to the plate for the first time this year.
Boy, is the table set for him or what? It's set. And you know he's going to make you throw him a strike.
Line drive, base hit, right field. Kipnis scores a tie run. Here comes Ramirez. He scores, and the Indians take a 3-2 lead. Michael Brantley, on his first swing of the season, delivers a 2-run single.
Welcome back. He knew that the manager challenged him, and he was looking fastball. He didn't hit it all that hard, but boy, was it placed beautifully. And it's a fastball in. It gets down on the trademark, and Michael, one swing of the bat gives the Indians a 3-2 lead. So you don't think that bat's happy to be back in the lineup, and I know Tito's happy to have him back.
These guys work so hard. So many hours spent alone, away from his teammates, working hard, trying to get himself ready for the season. Now Brandon Guyer. Guyer 1 for 5 against right-handed pitching, 1 for 5 against lefties so far. Good pitch. That was well located inside, just caught the inside corner. And it puts Guyer in a hole 0-2. He's watching all these guys go up there, ball 1, ball 2, and then boom, he's 0-2.
Yeah, but after Ned came out and challenged him, man, the first pitch to Brantley was a strike. It was a good pitch, and Michael just got the base hit, and now he's thrown 3 straight.
That was a good fastball, but in off the plate.
Well, he's letting it go now. He's not aiming it.
Edwin is at second base. Brantley's at first. Nobody out. The first 5 have all reached. 3 are in. Guyer checked. It was low. He did not go. And it's 2-2.
Guyer's going to think about it, look at it, and he checks his swing. He did do it. Good call.
Way out in front of it, and Duffy records the first out of the inning on a strikeout.
Manny Duffy threw the changeup there, had Guyer out front on his front foot. He went out to get it, thinking it was going to be a fastball. You can see at 3 fingers, it's a circle change. It never gets there, and he goes out of the strike zone, and Duffy finally gets his first out.
And that will bring up Yonder Alonso in his first home game with his new club. Way outside, ball 1. Yonder already a couple of home runs on the year. One of those a grand slam. A little tardy on that good fastball. 1-1. Fisted foul and over the top of the dugout.
See another good pitch. It might have been just a little off the plate inside, but at 94, you're looking for that fastball. You got to really turn the dial up. That was a well located fastball to a left-handed hitter.
Documented Yonder's story before the game on Indians Live. His parents, along with Yonder and his sister, fled Cuba when he was very young. They left the island with literally nothing more than the clothes they were wearing. Parents worked 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet when they arrived in the United States. Eventually, Alonso earned a scholarship to the University of Miami to play baseball. He drills this ball to deep center field. Back goes Gordon, and he'll make the catch. Boy, did that thing just die.
Sure did.
And Encarnacion holds at second. Brantley back to first, 2 down.
That's another frustrating thing when you're a hitter and you get back here into this kind of weather. When you hit a ball like this, and he hit it better than where it landed. He got one right down the middle with 2 strikes. And, you know, normally that ball may be short hopping the wall or off the fence or something. You can see where Gordon caught it. That thing just went straight down.
You know, I've heard players already talk about some of these games that they played in cold weather in Detroit, Kansas City. and they've said, boy, you feel like you square it up, you barrel it, and the ball just doesn't go anywhere.
Exactly. That's the reality of it.
In the dirt, nicely blocked again by Butera. He's made a number of key stops.
See, that should tell you, too, if you're a pitcher, you don't have to be too careful. You can go ahead, man. They're going to have to really smoke it to get it out of there.
You definitely don't want to challenge the big part of the ballpark today.
Well, you could pitch, you certainly could pitch to it, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let them go ahead and see if they can drive it out. He has really worked hard. 30. We've seen a couple of these this this first week of baseball with our pitchers, Josh Tomlin, a couple of Angels pitchers.
Now the 1-1. Gomes almost got nicked. Not a day you want to get hit by a pitch either.
No, sir. I don't know if there's ever a day you want to get hit by one. I know one thing. He's got bare arms out there, and it's, some guys don't like to pitch in sleeves, but you look at the defense. Every one of those guys have sleeves on. They've got gloves. They got head protectors. They want to stay warm.
On right back. 2-2.
This has been a long inning for their defense. This is one thing you hate as a player, where you're out there, because when you go back into that dugout and let's say you're hitting lead off or you're hitting the first two, you don't have enough time to get warm. Look at, you don't even know who that is. That's a heck of a Halloween costume right there.
That's the Lone Ranger.
That's Escobar.
Now the 2-2. Popped him up.
Run it out.
Let's see if it's playable here. Butera to the on-deck circle. He ran into the screen, and the ball is jarred loose.
Well, that's a break there for Yan Gomes. He got over there, and I think it did. It messed with him. That the screen at the top arrived at the same time he was going to go into the glove. He's watching it, and that ball just kept pushing back in, didn't it? That wind had a lot to do with it.
Now that screen is new. Remember, the screen used to be right up against where the catcher just hit his arm. But now the screen's back on top of the dugout, so you got a little bit of an overhang there. So we might see another Sandy Alomar upside down play.
Yeah, and it doesn't look as high as it used to be.
Tap to short, Escobar.
Oh.
He hesitated, and it's dug out at first nicely by Cuthbert, who saved his bacon right there. But the Indians, first 5 reach in the first. They score 3 times and take a 3-2 lead. Double play by Lindor and Kipnis.
Well, you can see how they turn him. That was 0.8 seconds, 8.3. He was going away from the base, and then Kipnis 6.7, 0.67 to get rid of it over to first base and get out of that inning.
But on a day like this, every move on the field could be critical.
Well, you know, they came out and Kansas City hit some pretty good pitches, you know, to get their 3 hits and their 2 runs, and it was up to Danny Duffy that helped the Indians got that inning started with the walks.
A 37 pitch bottom of the first. It took 21 minutes. So you talked about those Royals hitters standing around.
Yeah.
And now we'll see how they react at the plate as Jorge Soler takes a strike.
Did you notice Escobar on that last ground out? He ended up on his heels, and that's from standing around too much. He made the throw to first base and it short hopped him. He's normally solid, and he's like, you know, he's automatic. They did get the out, though.
The 0-2 ball grounded to short. Lindor unloads, and Alonso with a good stretch. 1 down. Our player profile is brought to you by Levin Furniture. Carlos Carrasco, 4th in the Cy Young voting last year. Tied for the major league lead in wins with his teammate Corey Kluber, along with Clayton Kershaw and Jason Vargas. 200 innings and 226 strikeouts. Three on the right side as the Indians shift for Alex Gordon, and he swings and misses. Be interesting to see, Rick, after that first inning, which of the 2 starting pitchers is able to maybe gain a foothold in this game.
Yeah, they're through it now. They've been out there for that first inning and know what it's like, the conditions. It's not nice, but they're going to have to work their way through it.
Fouled right back. Alex Gordon went hitless in the series in Detroit, 0 for 6. 5 for 33 in his career against Carrasco. Fouled off the facing of the Tribe dugout.
You know, Kansas City, they were snowed or colded out on Wednesday. They ended up taking a bus here to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And while we were playing out in Anaheim, they had a chance to get here and do nothing. They had yesterday off, so they've been sitting for a while.
They arrived here in time to watch our entire game Wednesday.
Well, yeah.
In the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. And because of the frigid conditions, I spoke to some of the members of the traveling party, and that's exactly what they did. They sat in their hotel and watched us on television.
Yeah, they said no, heck with going outside.
Now the 1-2 in the dirt again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He went too far on the appeal. Third base umpire Lance Barksdale rings him up. First strikeout for Carrasco, 2 down.
He wants to look up and check it out. Looked like a changeup that was down and away, and they appeal it. They get the call. I don't know about that.
Ooh.
Tell you what, they might have caught a break right there. I didn't think so.
And there are 2 down now for Alcides Escobar. Yeah, fastball was outside, 1-0.
You know, it may turn out being that way with the umpires today because they're cold too. When it's borderline. Yes, you did. Yes.
Oh, there you go, Arch.
There he goes. Grizzly Adams at the game today.
The 2-0 is in there. Fastball for a strike. Alcides Escobar started every game last year, all 162 for the second year in a row.
Yeah, not an easy thing to do when you're a shortstop playing every day. It's difficult, but and that's one reason why they signed him. Obviously, they didn't have somebody ready to take his job yet.
Now the 2-2. Reached for it, punches it foul the other way.
Yeah, he's been with the Royals. He came over from the Milwaukee Brewers in that Zach Greinke trade with Lorenzo Cain. Back in the day, Cain ended up re-signing, who was a free agent for him in center field, went back to Milwaukee. And Kansas City re-signed Alcides Escobar.
Two-two.
Nope.
We mentioned what a season Jose Ramirez had a year ago when you talk about the doubles. Alcides Escobar set the Royals franchise record for doubles by a shortstop with 36 last year. In the air, foul ground. Geyer won't get there. Francisco Lindor had 44 doubles a year ago. Then, of course, Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, he was on a different
56.
He was on a different planet.
But that's pretty good, you know, for Kansas City. You get a guy who sets the single season home run record, Moustakas. And then Escobar sets a mark for most doubles by a shortstop. Kurt Stillwell had 35 back in 1990. Up the gut. Lindor cuts it off. Flips on the run. The side is retired. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Cleveland 3, Kansas City 2. Peaches and herb. reunited.
Right. Oh,
But that's what they had up there. Peaches and Herb, they reunited with Rajay Davis coming back, and he's coming to the plate.
They couldn't wait, huh?
He's back indeed. Show and bunt took a strike. Grounded towards short. Escobar to the backhand. Good throw, and just did get Rajay by half a step for out number 1. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Indians in their last 20 games at home have won 17 of them, outscoring their opposition by a ton.
Yes, indeed. They led all of baseball. What was it, by 200? I think 245 last year. Outscoring the run differential.
You think about that 22-game win streak, and the back end of that streak was right here at Progressive Field. It's where it finally came to an end.
Yeah, it was 105.
It was against Kansas City.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. But boy, that run there, Rick. I mean, people asked. I'm sure they asked you. They asked me in the offseason what was the most memorable part of it. And I said the fact that most of those games weren't close. That they were so utterly dominant. They would score first. They'd add on.
Bingo.
They didn't have to come from behind. There was no drama.
Bingo. The first 3 innings they dominated, and then they turned it over to their pitching, and it was just like baseball. And no one got really, over anxious or didn't want to talk about it or thought about it. Hey, we're just doing what we do. And they really kept it in perspective. And I think you have to do something like that especially nowadays, because that's all everybody wants to talk about.
To right field. Soler makes the catch, 2 down. Well, the 22-game win streak a year ago,
starters were phenomenal.
It did capture finally the attention of everyone in Major League Baseball, and even beyond Major League Baseball.
Yeah, look at outscoring them by 105, and then your ERA is 158 as a team. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the only win streak longer than that in the history of baseball was by the New York Giants, but their win streak, again, it was a different time in baseball. They were traveling by trains back then, so that entire win streak was all at home.
Right.
They never left.
Yeah, and they had a couple of ties in there that, it wasn't a win streak. They had a couple of ties. And another thing that we did mention there, the Indians, they had 41 home runs in that streak. The opponents only had 37 runs.
Yeah. The pitching was just incredible. Well, that's going to find its way back out of play. It's easy to look back on it after the fact and say, well, see, they left it all there and didn't take it into October with. I never really got the sense that was the case at all.
No, it wasn't.
The Indians go 1-2-3 here in the second, but they lead the Royals 3-2.
And then after that, I think it's more mental. You know, try to keep your mind on something else instead of thinking how cold it is. I was out there catching ground balls just now, and Cleveland ain't joking.
Well, he's not kidding. You try to keep your mind off it. You don't think about it, and hopefully you have some quick innings where you don't have to stand out there for any length of time.
Drew Butera leading off for the Royals. Boy, what a shame. Salvador Perez, one of our favorites in the game, plays with the Royals. Obviously, their all-star catcher, Gold Glove guy. Dyer calling off Davis and makes the catch. He was taking his suitcase to the plane for the first trip of the year and sprained his knee.
Coming down from home?
I think he was in spring training. I'm not sure exactly where they were at, but it was that first trip of the year. March 29th, bang, they have to put him on the DL.
Well, that's a huge loss. I mean, they're fighting uphill to begin with because they lost some really good players in that lineup, and when you lose an all-star catcher and he's the heart and soul of that team, it's not a way you want to start the season off. That's for sure. But I mean, Drew Butera is a good backup, but he's going to have his work cut out for him. But if you're the Royals, you've got a long way to go.
John Jay started the game with a little flare to left just over the head of Lindor in the shallow left center field. Came around to score the first run of this game. Now the 0-2, and it's in the dirt. Two balls, two strikes, one down here in the third. Kansas City with 3 hits in the first inning. Able to score a couple of runs. Swung on and missed. Carrasco with his second strikeout of the afternoon, 2 down. Let's go downstairs to Andre Knight.
Well, the first inning may not have been exactly what Carlos Carrasco wanted, but I think Carl Willis wanted him to go through something like that. He wanted him to go through a tough situation and then put his foot on the other team's throat. Those were his exact words. He felt like Cookie over these last 3 starts, the last 2 in spring and the 1 in Seattle, that he was trying to get too fine with the stuff. He said, your stuff is too good to be fine. When you get in trouble, rear back and throw your good stuff and stop worrying about what could happen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that goes all the way back, Andre, to the first time Carl Willis ever saw Carlos Carrasco after they made the trade when Carl was here the first time. He said, I saw the stuff. It was there for everybody to see. I knew that this guy could be a good major league pitcher. It was just all the other stuff that pitchers have to put together to complete the total package. Well, he is settled in. He's retired 7 straight, and the Indians lead it by a run.
these years I've been in Cleveland. I'm greatly appreciative for it because there's nowhere else I want to be. We have unfinished business here in this locker room, and we look to get it done.
Michael Brantley back with his teammates, back in the starting lineup, and delivering already in his first swing. First pitch he saw, 2-run single in the first inning.
Shouldn't surprise you.
No.
You know,
No.
I mean, you've seen it. How many times has he done it before? In spring training, came back, hit the home run in his first at-bat 2 years in a row.
Well,
when he was ready to play.
We like to brag on his dad because Pops is a good man, and Mickey obviously taught Michael very well, but his swing's so low maintenance, so compact, and it's not that he doesn't work his tail off, don't get me wrong, because he puts in hours upon hours of work, but it's just like he doesn't need a lot of reps to be able to step right in and be ready to go.
Well, he's been doing that his whole life, so it's well maintained.
He doesn't need a ton of reps, guys, but he gets in a ton of reps. And that was the one thing he did this spring. I know we talked about it a little bit during spring training, but he was swinging the bat from the first day of spring training, unlike the last 2 springs when he was working on that shoulder. He told me today that's made a well of a difference so far.
Yeah, he loves to hit, doesn't he?
He does, and I think that's why he's happy to be back here. He appreciates that this coaching staff lets him work with Mickey the way that he does. And really, he said he was nervous and didn't sleep last night.
Edwin swinging a miss.
That means you love the game, you have a passion for it, and you should. If you're at the big leagues and you're never nervous for an opening day, you better go home. It's time to go.
Wow, Edwin was way out in front. Well, Duffy.
So did you sleep last night, Arch?
No, I couldn't sleep, man. I stayed up. Yeah, I slept pretty good, but I got up early today.
We got to get rid of you then.
I was up early.
5 a.m. Swung on and missed, 2-2. Duffy, like Carrasco, has retired 7 straight after his first inning struggles. Edwin sends a high fly ball to left. John Jay barely had to move. 2 down. Back in the first inning, here's Michael Brantley.
He jumped on the first fastball. Ned Yost had just gone to the mound, and he only got in on it, hit the trademark. You can see it's 66 miles an hour coming off the bat, but it was placed beautiful. It was a base hit. It drove in a pair. It gave him the lead.
There's Dad.
Speaking of, there's Mick. I didn't know he had to get all that that gear here, but I know they don't have it in Florida.
No balls and 2 strikes. Boy, Rick, ever since Ned Yost went out and delivered that speech to Duffy, he's been a different guy.
Yes, he has. He's been aggressive. He's letting it fly. He's throwing the baseball.
Now,
Ned went out and challenged him.
Took him almost 30 pitches to figure that out, but yeah, that was not a hey, it's okay, you'll get him. That was a pretty stern lecture he got.
Everybody else that was on that mound looking away from him, and look at he paints the outside corner for his second strikeout.
Yeah. And now he's retired 9 in a row.
Well, it's a 3-2 Cleveland lead, and if you're enjoying a Miller Lite, we invite you to stay tuned later in the game for our Hold True moment. Mike Moustakas, Lucas Duda, and Cheslor Cuthbert to bat for the Royals. And Moustakas looks at a first pitch breaking ball in there for a strike.
Well, Moustakas is a guy that he gets very aggressive early in the count. If he sees a fastball, he's going to get after it.
Pulls it foul. Through the first 3 innings, Carrasco 45 pitches, 33 of those have been strikes. So he's tried to be aggressive. Did give up a couple of hits right off the bat. And the Royals scratched out a pair of runs in the first inning, but since then he has shut them down. And he just did get a piece of that, and it might have gotten a piece of Yan Gomes.
Boy, that's not what you want to take foul tips on a day like today. This one elevated a little bit, straight down in, and it comes back up, and ouch. Spider bite.
Here's the 0-2. That's foul and way out of play.
There it was.
Punched him out looking. Third strikeout for Carrasco.
Boy, he sat there and didn't get his sign for a while and waited and waited, and Moustakas didn't call timeout. He must have been thinking he was going to a breaking ball, and he threw the fastball by him, and that's a rarity. You see, it locks him up and he takes it. Normally he is ready for the fastball. So Carlos gets his third strikeout.
Now Lucas Duda. Duda, the last Royal to reach. Cost him a bat in the process. Actually cost him 2 bats.
Yes, it did.
The first one ended up on top of the screen, and a fan reached over and plucked it in between innings from the club section. And then at the end of that at bat, he shattered one, but it dropped into right field for an RBI single.
Yeah, he used crutches to get that bat off for a souvenir. That stops a string of 9 consecutive strikes for Carrasco.
We've seen him before. He can get in sort of in those grooves like that where he's like a machine out there.
Well, in his last start, he was like 69% strikes in Seattle. He was throwing a lot of strikes.
And as you heard Andre tell us, Carl Willis wants to see him be more aggressive in attack.
Well, today I think you certainly can with your fastball more than maybe you would like to be, because the ball isn't carrying as much. And he got ahead of Duda with a couple of good fastballs inside when he had the chance to drive in a run. He ended up getting to see they're not driving it that way.
Michael Brantley with a catch in left. 2 down. All right, it's time now for our showstopper. If you didn't see this one, hard to believe.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
This is the Twins and the Mariners in Minnesota. So the bald eagle goes after the Mariners starting pitcher, James Paxton, and he didn't know what to do. He said afterwards, well, I knew I couldn't outrun the thing, so I just figured I'd stand my ground and hope it didn't claw me to death.
He thought it was a trout. That's a big trout.
But those talons, I mean, that could have easily broken skin.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? He did not panic. You would have been, oh my God.
Been on the ground.
I would have loved to
been flat on the ground.
You would have been yelling, screaming.
Well, especially if it would have been a spider.
Oh.
Or a reptile. By the way, the 0-1 pitch in the air to right. It's like I saw a big 8-foot rattler they found down in Florida on a golf course. 1, 2, 3. Carlos Carrasco has retired 10 in a row.
Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on all your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply.
Brandon Geyer leading off for the Indians here in the bottom of the fourth, takes low ball one. Geyer was the first batter Danny Duffy retired in this game in the first inning, and he was the sixth man to bat. He struck him out on a changeup, and he has retired 9 in a row. Duffy settling in after what looked like it was going to be a disastrous first inning. He got out of it only allowing the 3 runs. This is one of those games where if you're a relief pitcher, you're hoping to be the first guy called into the game.
Yeah. So you can get up and get warm and get out of there and go get a hot shower. Is that what you're saying?
You've got the best chance to be finished earlier than anyone else. Now those guys do have those heaters above at the very top portion of that bullpen area, so that keeps them a little warmer than the average fan, that's for sure. Geyer lifts one to right. Soler pulls it down, 1 away. All right, the game started with Danny Duffy just chucking the ball all over the place. He walked 3 of the first 4 hitters. And then after Brantley's 2-run single, Ned Yost went to the mound and delivered a very pointed lecture. And since then, he's been a strike throwing machine. There's a curveball in for a strike. Yonder Alonso fly to center. He hit the ball hard. He barreled one up in the first inning, but that gave us an indicator that the ball's just not going to carry today.
No, it is not. I mean, when you're a hitter up there, you just try and put a quality. That was a good swing. You know, quality at bat. You just try and hit line drives because you know it will get knocked down. It just doesn't carry in this kind of weather.
Ground ball wide at first. Cuthbert fields it, threw it behind Duffy, but what a job, and Duffy missed the bag. Duffy did a great job to save Cuthbert a throwing error by reaching back with his momentum going the opposite direction. He made the catch. but then just couldn't get his foot to the bag.
He did everything in his power to make this play. I didn't realize he didn't touch the bag. I thought he was there, and it was a nice play to help him out. But I mean, he never had a chance to look for the base. He was feeling for it, and with that throw being behind him, there you'll see he missed it by a couple of inches. So it's a great effort by Duffy. The throw by Cuthbert was not right on. So that's going to be an error on the first baseman. And that's a play. Cuthbert normally a third baseman more than he is a first baseman. So it's a little tougher, and he's learning that position there, and you have to lead your pitcher. It's not always an easy thing to do.
Well, and you're talking about replacing a guy who was a gold glove first baseman.
One of the best first basemen in the game, no doubt, in Eric Hosmer.
Yan Gomes grounded to short, ending the first inning. Yan sends a towering pop to left. John Jay coming in, calling for it, and makes the catch. 2 down. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Michael Brantley activated off the DL today, and the Indians sent Tyler Naquin back to AAA Columbus to make room for him. Here are the other Indians on the mend. Rajay Davis. Outside, ball 1. Swung on and missed. Missed in off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. In the air, right field. Soler once again, a routine play. And that'll do it. We've played 4. Cleveland 3, Kansas City 2. By the 2018 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. And by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. Sellout crowd. And the Indians lead the Royals 3-2 here at Progressive Field. Fifth inning. Jorge Soler swings and misses. Kansas City pitcher Danny Duffy had his string of 10 in a row snapped by an error from first baseman Cheslor Cuthbert, but he still bounced back, retired the next two to throw up another 0. Carlos Carrasco, who has retired 10 in a row. And Carrasco last inning threw 11 pitches, 10 strikes. Now the 1-1 in the dirt. Soler, then Alex Gordon and Alcides Escobar for the Royals here in the 5th.
Soler, a guy they got from the Cubs, and he's going to get a lot of playing time this year, or should.
Swings and lifts one to center. Rajay on away. Our great clip of the game from Wednesday, another terrific outing by Corey Kluber. But unfortunately for the second time out, they just couldn't get him a lot of offensive support. They did give him 2, and Shohei Ohtani tied it with a 2-run homer. And then we ended up in extra innings before it was ultimately decided. But good start for Kluber. 2 starts
yes, indeed,
under his belt, and he's been sharp both times out. Alex Gordon shoots it foul. Shift on. And Gordon again shooting it the other way, foul. And it's 0-2. Gordon was healthy last year. Played in 148 games, which his most since 2014. But offensively, his numbers have been in decline.
Yeah, offensively, he was really had a tough year last year, and you just wonder what happened after that 1 year where, you know, he meant so much to this offense, got some big hits. 271 to 220 to 208. Everything went south, and you're still in the 40 RBI mark, and this is a guy that they gave a lot of money to as a free agent.
Jason Kipnis gets a big hop and throws him out. 2 down. Well, ever since the Royals got a couple of runs in that first inning, Carrasco has been vintage cookie.
Yes, he has. I mean, he's settled in. He got that check swing, but now I think he's getting a little better feel for that off-speed pitch. And, you know, he's keeping them off the end of the bat. They're not squaring it up. And I'll tell you what they did do in that first inning, like Merrifield, he hit an absolutely good pitch. And Duda, he got a base hit to drive in a run. He hit a good pitch that was down out of the zone and cracked his bat. And, you know, once he got that double play ball, boy, he just settled in nicely.
Alcides Escobar grounded out his only time up in the second. Fouls this one off. It's 0-2.
Yeah, we got to send out a very special birthday wish today to Helen Young, who is turning 100 today. Right. Helen, very happy birthday from all of us at Sports Time Ohio, the Indians.
0-2. Almost chased after it, but he held up.
Another thing Carlos is doing here, 10 straight first pitch strikes, which is always something that pitchers coaches love to see, and that's something that Carlos is very good at doing.
Hitters are already sort of in a disadvantage today with the conditions. Then you get a guy who's pounding the strike zone, getting ahead, and it's got to be very discouraging. Broke his bat, or at least sounded like it.
That didn't feel good.
Lindor throws him out, and Cookie continues to cruise. Spring marching band. Here at Progressive Field today, they perform the national anthem. They're now doing a little Hang On Sloopy. Best damn band in the land. Bottom of the fifth. It'll be the top of the order as Francisco Lindor leads it off. And Danny Duffy misses low and away, ball one. Lindor walked and scored in the first. Foul out of play. Bring the glove, make the play.
Yes, indeed.
Check did he go? He went, says Roberto Ortiz. He can't find the baseball. It's in the Indians logo, and by the time he found it, Lindor's safe at first base.
And he stayed there for a while. He was looking for that baseball for a while, and he couldn't see it. And it was sitting in the red. It's not like it was on the white, but I mean, he did go. Now, no question. That ball trickles, and now he doesn't know where it is.
Listen to Duffy.
Back. See, Lindor thought he had it, and that's why he wasn't running. He kept looking around, and he never had the ball in his glove. So both of them were fooled by it.
It's ruled a wild pitch. And it'll be the third strikeout for Duffy. Now Jason Kipnis sends one high to left, but just doesn't go anywhere today. 1 down. Our mid-game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Lucas Duda with an RBI single on a broken bat job made it 2-0. But the Indians came right back. Bottom of the first 5 all reached. Michael Brantley with a 2-run single, but the Indians are in front 3-2. And it has stayed that way ever since.
Yeah, and both pitchers have really settled in nicely since that first inning, haven't they? Both pretty much the same. There have been no hits since that first inning. The only blemish on Dubby's card was the error, and now the wild pitch here because his catcher did not find the ball.
It's like one of those games that when you're a kid, they'd have remember a picture and you have to find the hidden things.
Yeah, the hidden thing. That's right. He didn't see it. Neither did Lindor.
No. Up and away. Jose Ramirez delivering an RBI single in the first inning. Grounded one right back up the middle. Punches one to left, but John Jay. I can't remember a game where the outfielders have had to move less than they have here in this game today.
Well, and anytime they're moving, they're breaking in. They're not breaking back. So as an outfielder, you could probably play a little more shallow than normal.
All right, I just asked Brandon Geyer that same question because he says he's learned his lesson now. He's out in right field. He thinks if you hit it in the right place in right center, it may take off a little bit. He said forget about it the rest of the outfield, though. It's not going anywhere.
I know it.
Yeah, you're right, though, Andre. We've seen a little bit of that, almost like a slingshot effect.
Right.
There's an alley there in right field, maybe closer toward the line. But tough sledding for the hitters today.
Well, the way these two pitchers have settled in, I think it's a pretty safe bet that you could play shorter.
Edwin walked in the first. He flied to left in the third.
You hit one out of here today, you're a man.
You've certainly earned it. Fly ball, shallow left center. Look out, the center fielder and the left fielder collide, but Jay holds on. Jay and Gordon ran into each other, but the Indians are out here in the fifth. It remains 3-2 Cleveland.
what we do daily basis. That's why every team is trying to do win. And whether it's this year, next year, the years to come, every year will be the same mentality. Go out there and do your best and try to win and make it to the postseason. And once you're in the postseason, anything can happen.
Well, Francisco Lindor and the Indians with a 3-2 lead behind Carlos Carrasco, who has retired 13 in a row going into the 6th inning now. Drew Butera, the Royals catcher who fly to right his only time up, will lead it off. Line and foul, third base side.
Butera had a pretty good at-bat his first time up, hitting it to right field, and drove it about as far as you can hit it the other way today.
Down in the dirt. Butera spoils one. Does it get any better as a game like this goes on for a player in cold conditions, or does it progressively get worse because your body starts to feel the effects of it?
If you can keep moving and you have a chance to go in and out. What hurt them is that first inning, no doubt, where they had to stand out there for so long. It never gets better because it's getting later and it gets darker. There's a great at bat.
Butera shoots one through. It breaks the string of 13 in a row. And we'll turn it over to the top of the order, and Andre has more on Cookie and his dealings with the weather.
Well, you guys are talking about it, and you look at Cookie, you look at everyone else. He's got no long sleeves on. He says in the past he would try to put a bunch of stuff on, and he would get so worried about it that he realized he was making a mistake in overthinking the process. So he dresses and does everything the same, whether it's 80 degrees or whether it's whatever you guys want to call it up there, 30 degrees today. Now, I can tell you the players that aren't playing, Mike Clevenger had a normal coat on about an hour ago. He's got a full-length parka on. So, yes, it's changing for everybody that's not playing.
That's right. It's getting worse. And Andre, you know what? It's just mind over matter, man. It's 80 degrees
is that
up
what it
here.
is?
You know,
I see. You got your shirt. You got a nice shirt on. Nice
same
tie.
thing, man.
I don't see any coats on. You and Matt. Look at Matty standing up. You guys look good. Yeah. Look at Roberto. Look at you guys.
He looks like he's got a day at the beach.
Oh, yeah, it's a day at the beach. I got beach for you.
Here's the 1-0. On the way from Carrasco. Boy, is he bitter today.
Yes, he is.
John Jay is swinging a miss.
Second time through that lineup for Carlos. He threw 37 pitches. 27 of them were strikes. Yeah, it really is. It doesn't get much better. I mean, goodness gracious, it's a good thing it's not a night game.
Up the middle, and it's through. Kipnis had made a diving attempt at that ball after it got by Carrasco. And so back-to-back singles for Kansas City. First time that's happened since the first two hitters of the game.
I thought Kip might have had a chance. It went right up and it deflected a little bit to second, but you can see it just gets under his glove. So back-to-back singles. And now Kansas City in business, trying to at least tie this game up with some base runners. They now have 5 hits, all 3 coming in the first inning, and back-to-back hits here. That's what they did. They bunched them early.
Now Merrifield, first time up, shot one to right for a base hit. It went for a double. And the next time up, he grounded to short.
He hit a great pitch. That ball he grounded to short was a breaking ball away when he had 2 strikes. So they're just trying to move the runners. And there you go. It's a job well done with the sacrifice, and it's going to give Moustakas and Duda a couple of opportunities. Well, you can still get a prorated Tribe season ticket package for the best seats at the best prices. You'll save big over single game prices and get exclusive perks. See Indians.com for more details. This is where you want to be careful with Moustakas on the first pitch. Nothing too good because he will be hacking.
They're going to intentionally walk him?
Yeah, I think so. He whistled to the umpire and he said, yeah, put him on. So now you go for double play ball and you got a chance to either get a strikeout or something like that. So yes, it's the first walk for Carlos.
Now, first time up, Carrasco looked like he was overpowering Duda with fastballs, but he threw a breaking ball and he was able to break his bat, get a base hit on it.
He did hit a good pitch, but to get ahead of him, he had him 0-2 and he threw 2 fastballs in. He crowded him, didn't give him much to swing at, but he couldn't put him away.
Starts him off with a breaking ball down low, 1-0. It's now at 80 pitches coming up here for Carrasco. Popped up foul. That's going to get out of play.
And when you look at the breakdown after a 1-0 pitch for Carrasco today, Kansas City's 4 for 5. When he gets ahead and gets them down 0-1, they're 1 for 13. And he fell behind Duda 0-1, but now he'd like to get that double play ball if he can get him to hit it on the ground or a punch out.
Bases loaded, 1 out here in the 6th, and the Indians clinging to a 1-run lead. He's now getting some action in the Cleveland pen, way out in front of it. He pulls the string on him. It's 1-2.
Pretty nice changeup right there. That was a swing where it looked like he was searching for it, and you watch the movement on this pitch. He has a feel. There it is. Remember the first time he spiked one in the dirt to him, and Gomes made a beautiful save on that one. So now what do you look for if you're Duda?
Back to the off-speed pitch, and he just missed outside with it. 2-2. Another changeup.
Yeah, and you can see it was away. It was off the plate. He just didn't chase it.
Here now is the 2-2. Upstairs with a fastball, and now he's got to throw him a strike.
Well, that's where Gomes wanted that fastball inside on the hands, and it got away from him. He couldn't throw that pitch inside. I think they had him set up for it if he could have located it, but they did not. Good look at the base runners. From third to first. Big pitch in the ball game right here.
Nick Goody warming in the Cleveland bullpen. Payoff pitch in on his hands, and he fights it off. Little Cookie with the right-handed hitter on deck, Cheslor Cuthbert. Still in good shape as far as his pitch count is concerned. But as you mentioned earlier, boy, would he use one of those 2-for-1 balls right here. Strike 3 called. A good low fastball. Bottom of the zone. And Duda out looking. 4th strikeout for Carrasco.
Duda didn't like the call, but he threw a low dart. Let's check out the sequence here by Carrasco on pitch by pitch, and he gets a breaking ball and misses. So he evens the count up, a changeup away, he fouled off, and comes back with another changeup. He didn't offer it that one 2-2, a changeup away. Now he fouls off the heater he wanted to go inside with, and there he hits a beautiful pitch. Down and away, and he's upset, but that was a strike.
Not out of the woods yet. Cheslor Cuthbert can be a tough out. Grounded into a double play in the first inning, fly to right in the 4th.
Yeah, this is a Kansas City team that always, they like to swing the bats. They're not much for walks, Again, they've only drawn now 11 on the year with that intentional walk from the Stockers.
Threw it by him. Yeah, they came into today as a team with 10 walks,
yes.
14 strikeouts.
Yeah, 10 walks.
They put the ball in play.
Yes, they do. And, you know, they've hit the 1 home run. And that was the guy that was just punched out by Carrasco. Duda.
And the 1-1 outside. Wow. That was a good pitch, but a little bit low, and now it's 3-1, and Carrasco right back in trouble again. He's got to throw him a strike, and Cuthbert knows it.
Well, he's
Just
taking all the way
grazed
too.
the outside corner.
And Cuthbert taking all the way. He wasn't going to go in. He's going to make him throw 2 in a row. You're going to see this ball away, and I'll tell you what, it was close.
You might have got the benefit of the doubt there. The runners will all be moving though here on the 3-2 pitch. To left. Brantley makes the catch, and the Royals leave him loaded. Carrasco gets out of hot water on a frigid day in Cleveland.
Packs are on sale starting at just $99. 6-packs include the hottest promotions of the season, including dollar dog nights, fireworks, and select giveaways. Go to Indians.com and purchase yours today.
The calendar says April, but it feels like the dead of winter.
It looks like it too.
Michael Brantley leading off for the Indians here in the bottom of the 6th. They lead it by a run. All the offense, all the action in this one was in the first inning. It was fast and furious, but since then, pitching and perhaps Mother Nature to a degree have taken over. Credit to the fans, though. They've turned out on a day that certainly has been a test of the elements. 2-0.
And I'll tell you, I think we're all curious to see how the weekend plays out, because the temperature today is going to seem balmy compared to the next two.
Yeah, let's not say that.
Now 3-0 is in there for a strike. Michael delivering a 2-run single in the first on the first pitch he saw this year. Full count. And that put the Indians ahead 3-2. Shoots one to third, right into the glove of Moustakas.
Yep.
He throws him out, 1 down. When you ride with the Indians in Velasano, your registration is free. You'll get an Indian cycling jersey, and 100% of the money raised supports cancer research at Cleveland Clinic. Visit velasano.org/Indians for details on joining the team. Brandon Geyer 0 for 2 on the day. Pulls that foul. Now the 0-1. Bounced in the dirt. Both bullpens are busy. Nick Goody warming for the Indians, and then Brad Keller loosening for KC. Way outside, and it's 2-1. I think you get 6 innings from your starter on a day like this, and you'll take it. Upstairs, 3-1.
Well, the way they started out today, you're darn right.
Oh, for sure, Kansas City, yeah.
Both Kansas City and even Carrasco. But I'm saying, you know, 6 innings, yes, sir, in this kind of weather.
Geyer shoots one down the line, but it's going to hook foul. The Indians came into today having won 9 of their last 11 games against the Royals.
Oh, yeah.
To right field, Soler can't get there. He knocks it down. Garv's going to turn and go for 2, and Brandon will be in there standing with a 1-out double.
Yes, sir. He ended up turning that into a double. Not that it was a bad play, because he thought he could catch it, but that ball was diving down. It had some sink to it. He wanted to catch it, and he thought he had a chance at it. But when he does, and it hits the ground, hits him in the chest, and then pushes it away, and allowed Geyer to go for an extra base. So that'll go as a double. First extra base hit for the Indians, and their first hit since the first inning. Michael Brantley.
And then we get a visit at the mound with Drew Butera, Mike Moustakas, and it looks like Merrifield all coming together.
Could probably be his last hitter here, I would think.
Yeah, you got back-to-back right-handed bats due up after that for the Indians. Yonder bloops one, but there's Merrifield with the shift on. He's able to just move over to his right and make the catch. And there are 2 down, and here comes Ned Yost. So Danny Duffy ends up going 5 2/3 innings today. He only allowed 2 hits in the first inning and nothing until this 6th, when Brandon Geyer doubled to right field. So 3 hits in all, charged with 3 runs. He'll be responsible for the runner at second base when he departs. But when Ned Yost gave him a stern talking to in the first inning, I have to give that young man a lot of credit, because on a nasty day, he dug down deep and really turned it around for the Royals. Time now for Cleveland Clinic pitching call to the bullpen, and it will be Brad Keller when we come back. Well, April in the OHIO continues tomorrow night when the Blue Jackets take on the Predators in Nashville. Blue Jackets live at 7:30. Puck drops at 8 on Fox Sports Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. April in Ohio, presented by Menards.
That was a great sign that guy had.
That guy's frozen.
Did you see him? Take door number 3, please.
Monty Hall.
Former, yes. Let's make a deal.
Yeah, congratulations to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Officially punched their ticket to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Jan Gomes got a piece of it. Brad Keller with a 1-2-3 6th inning on 12 pitches Monday. He's only faced 6 batters. He's retired all 3. His big league debut came on opening day. Gomes to right field. Soler was playing shallow, but he's able to get back in time to make the catch. And the inning is over. 6 in the books. It's still 3-2 Cleveland. Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Frosty day here at Progressive Field. Indians lead the Royals 3-2. And as we go to the 7th inning, Tribe goes to the bullpen. Carlos Carrasco's day over after 6 innings of work, and Nick Goody will make his 4th appearance of the season. Goody will have the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the KC lineup due up. Carrasco made 92 pitches this afternoon. 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out 4. And now Goody gets ahead, strike 1. Andrew Miller beginning to loosen. Swung on and missed, 1-2.
is out looking. Now, as we promised you earlier, it's time now for our Miller Lite Hold True moment. Carlos Carrasco holding on for dear life. Bases loaded, 1 out in the 6th. He gets Lucas Duda out looking. And then Cuthbert flies to Brantley to end the threat. Key moment in this game.
Yes, it was. It was a nice job to first of all, bases loaded, 1 out. Ended up pitching his way through that.
That Goody with a strike. There's a ball ripped into right field, and Alex Gordon has the Royals' 6th hit of this afternoon. And a 1-out base runner. That's the tying run aboard.
Comes a fastball from Goody. It's right there. That was a good pitch to hit. He hit it. See why? It was up in the zone and it was middle of the plate. So a 1-out single now.
Well, here's Alcides Escobar 0 for 2. And he fights one off but fouled out of play.
With 1 out, it takes a little bit of the aggressiveness away. Here's a guy that can really handle the bat. You know, maybe with nobody out, if he didn't bunt, you could maybe try something with a hit and run, but with 1 out, you wouldn't think so.
And a foul right back. It's 0-2. I mentioned before, Alcides Escobar is some kind of durable for Kansas City. You realize he's the first player to start all 162 games in back-to-back years since Prince Fielder. And I bring that up because you wonder, is there a cost at playing every day for a long period of time? Prince Fielder was great, but man, when it came to an end,
yeah, when
it
he had his neck
quickly.
issues, yeah, it sure did. He was pretty much done. But you know, 2 different body styles.
True.
You know,
yeah, that's true.
You know, when you're looking at these guys, this is a guy that plays shortstop and fielder. Not to say that he was a bad athlete by any means, because he was a guy that you know, he loved to play every day, and he kept himself you know, in good shape. But boy, when
once he jacked his neck up, it was just done.
Yes, it sure was. Some really major surgery.
Grady Sizemore played every day, consecutive seasons, you know, but boy, it just seemed like
when he went fast.
Yeah. And guys like that, they only know that's the only way they know how to play the game.
That is
so
true.
You can't tell them, well, dial it back a notch or 2. You might play an extra couple of years. They don't know how to do that. Wouldn't work. Wouldn't be the same player. Right now, Nick Goody trying to get Escobar to bang one on the ground at one of his infielders. Instead, that's foul out of play. Look out. You know, usually in a hot day we say, oh, it won't take so and so long to get ready, a couple of tosses. It's not necessarily that it takes them any longer to get loose, get hot, but then if you have to stand around for any period of time, that's where you wonder.
You have to stay loose.
Yeah. In the air, left field. Back goes Brantley. And onto the warning track, he pulls it down. That may be the best bolt of the day.
Sure was.
And that only made it to the middle of the warning track.
Yes, it was.
2 down.
Well, Goody comes up with a high fastball. You can see where Gomes was sitting. He said, I want it upstairs. He was in a crouch. And it gets to the warning track. You see 370. He hit that pretty darn good. Yeah, utilize the elements today if you're a pitcher.
And Drew Butera, the Kansas City catcher, singled his last time up. Low, ball one. Swatted in the air to deep center. Back is Rajay, and he'll make the catch shy of the warning track to retire the side. Stretch time in Cleveland. 3-2 Indians. Well, if they were looking for trouble, they found it right out of the gate today. Kansas City scored 2 in the top of the first, but the Indians responded with 3 in the bottom of the first, and it has stood up as we go now into the bottom of the 7th inning. Rajay Davis will lead it off, and Brad Keller, who got the final out of the 6th inning, staying on the pitch for Kansas City. Keller made his major league debut this year. High fastball just above the zone. He's 6'5", 230, so he's an imposing figure on the mound. Lindor shoots it to right, or rather Rajay shoots it to right. He's going to turn and burn. He'll go to second base, headlong in there safely. And now Lindor will bat with a runner in scoring position after Rajay leads off the 7th with a double. Nice piece of hitting where he shoots it the other way.
Yeah, it really was. He was looking to go that way all the time. You can see that ball probably middle of the plate, that he fights it off and still shoots it to right field. And he was going to challenge the arm of Soler. He was not going to wait and have to steal second. He says, I'm just going to get a double. Goes in head first, and that's the leadoff man. It's the second time they've had their leadoff man aboard. It was Lindor who walked back in the first, the only other time that happened.
Royals looking for a bunt. They pinch the corners. He squares, takes it back, and the pitch is low. Moustakas was holding at the bag at third, hoping that if Lindor bunts it hard enough to a charging Cuthbert, he might be able to go there and get the out. He bunts that, but it's foul at the plate. Never got it out in front. It's almost a game of wait and see for Moustakas.
Well, yeah, he has to
charge. He'll charge.
If it's hard enough, he'll get it. I mean, and he'll go to first base. That's all he can do.
And if Lindor bunts it toward Cuthbert, he can hold back and maybe have a play. But with the Speedy Davis running, that's a risky gamble if you're Kansas City.
That's all right, he pulled the ball. There you go.
Lindor gets him over to third. One down.
See, I like that. Now you go ahead, pull the ball, you get him over.
And an opportunity now for Jason Kipnis as the Indians look to add to their lead.
I'm sure that infield will stay in at the cut of the grass. But remember, when that infield comes in like that, the outfielders are still playing, you know, their normal depth. And we see the ball's not really carrying a whole lot today.
No, except John Jay's pretty shallow in left.
He is in left, yes.
And Kipnis has gone that way once today. He's also flied to center.
Well, you figure you don't have to hit it all that deep with Davis on third base. Man that can scoot.
Shoots it right at the third baseman, Moustakas, who didn't make the play, but he recovers in time, and Rajay has nowhere to go. 2 down. Boy, he hit it hard. He hit it right at him, but that ball came out of the glove of Moustakas, but he had plenty of time to still
retire. You know, Davis was thinking about taking off after he dropped it. He wanted to sneak down and go. He just wasn't convinced that he wouldn't like deke him with the throw and come back to get him. Yeah, he just couldn't have it. So ball hit hard. They're able to get the out, and now they're going to walk Ramirez intentionally. Okay. They saw his act last year, and that's why.
Yeah, I was going to say you can forget about whatever's up on the scoreboard. Ned Yost says I saw this guy double and double and double and double again against us.
And he got a base hit to drive in the first run.
Right. Tribe looking for a hit with runners in scoring position for their last 7. Edwin Encarnacion is 0 for 2. He walked in the first inning, and that loaded the bases, and then Michael Brantley broke the tie with a 2-run single. Ramirez takes off for second base. They don't even cover the bag. It'll be a steal for Jose, his first.
Yeah, good time to run. They're concerned about Encarnacion. They didn't even move. They didn't budge. You don't throw through. You deke and see if he wants to come down the line at third. He did not. So the 7th stolen base for the Indians. They've yet to be caught.
Edwin takes up and away 2-0.
Well, the reason why Ned intentionally walked Ramirez, this is the matchup he wanted. You got to go after and get Encarnacion. He doesn't want Brantley coming to the plate if Eddie should walk or anything.
He does have a left-hander up in the bullpen to face Brantley if it gets to that, but it kind of comes down to, you know, you can't tell a kid, well, be careful. Don't give him anything good to hit. Because
no, not a young pitcher, right? That's just making he's a rookie.
So I agree with you. He's telling him, hey, go get Encarnacion. Be aggressive here. And he rears back and throws it by him at 96 miles an hour. Slowly chopped. The third baseman, Moustakas, cut in front of him and makes the play to retire the side. So we've got 7 in the books. It remains Cleveland 3, Kansas City 2.
Indians lead the Royals 3-2, and that was our same score after 1 inning here as well. He's Jensen Lewis. I'm Al Pulowski. Welcome back to our center field set. Boy, Jensen, almost a tale of 2 games. 1 game was the first inning. The rest of the game, 2nd inning until now.
It took forever to get through the first, but good thing they got 1 more run than the Royals. Now, Miller, Allen, it's exactly what you want to have to get this home opening win.
It is a bullpen game, and we'll be with you after the game for Indians Live. It's brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Andrew Miller in for the Tribe. Let's head upstairs to Matt Underwood and Rick Manning for the call. Fellas?
That's right, Al. It's Miller time as Andrew Miller comes on to pitch here in the 8th inning. Nick Goody working a scoreless 7th. And a 1-run ball game. John Jay, Whit Merrifield, Mike Moustakas, top of the order for Kansas City. And it's outside, ball 1. Kansas City had a chance to tie it in the 6th. Bases loaded, 1 out. Could not convert. Indians had a chance to add to their lead in the 7th. But could not do it. After the leadoff double by Rajay Davis, Lindor got him over to 3rd with 1 out, but they couldn't get him home.
Yeah, today it's been the key 2-out hitting. Kansas City 0 for 6, the Indians 0 for 7.
Not a lot of hitting, period, in this one. 6 hits for Kansas City, and 3 of those were in the first frame. 4 hits for the Indians, and 2 of those were in the first inning. Right now, Andrew Miller falling behind 3-1. That just took off on him. And the tying run is aboard to start the 8th. Andre.
Well, I told you guys a couple days ago that Jose Ramirez isn't superstitious, but he told me he's a little stitious. So today when I came in, he took his hat off, and you guys see it. He said it's time to go home. So first at bat, got an RBI single, and he came off the field. He looked at me and said, "Told you."
Now, right now, Andrew Miller's got to bear down. Whit Merrifield at the plate. Doubled and scored in the 1st, laid down a sacrifice in the 6th, and he takes ball 1.
Yeah, and he's having a tough time finding the strike zone. You know, you can get loose and you warm up in that bullpen, but until you get out on that mound and feel what the wind's doing and things like that, you got to make adjustments.
Caught the outside edge.
And this is a good right-handed hitter. And people would say, well, Why wouldn't he bunt? Well, you're not going to bunt him. He's got the best chance to hit a ball or drive it in. You got the left-hander on deck if you're giving an out.
Yeah.
So you want him to hit a hole, hit a gap, and maybe go first and third, or things like that. He's a good hitter.
And Miller finding the strike zone, gets ahead 1-2.
Murfield acting right there like he thought that ball was down. Let's see what he thinks. And it says it hit that corner. You don't want this guy that's out there pitching, Andrew Miller, getting those pitches, because it's going to be tough to hit him.
Almost like he's got so much movement that it's adversely affecting him as opposed to being an asset for him. That ball's yanked into left field, a base hit on the slider. And look out, Kansas City's got their first 2 on here in the 8th.
Yeah, let's look at the sequence here. It was a breaking ball in off the plate for ball 1. He wrapped the slider on the outside part of the plate. That's the pitch he didn't like. So 1-2, he goes in off the dish, and there's the breaking ball that he got himself a good piece of to hit to left field. So after the leadoff walk, a single. Kansas City back in business, like they were back in the 6th inning when Carrasco was on. They had the first 2 men aboard. They sacrificed.
Back-to-back left-handed hitters here for the Royals, and Moustakas can't hold up. Strike 1. And it's quickly 0-2. Moustakas got a piece of it and pushes it back into the seats. Let's feel like a bit of a moral victory after those first 2 pitches. Another left-handed hitter, Lucas Duda.
Yeah, this inning starting with the leadoff man Jay. So 3 of the first 4 hitters in this inning are left-handed.
Swung on and missed. He got him with a slider that kind of hung a little bit. Maybe it fooled Moustakas, not expecting it to be in that location.
You know, it's nothing but sliders, steady diet of sliders to Moustakas. And we can sit up here though and we say, hey, look, that thing might have hung a little bit. When you're in that batter's box and you see that thing start back here and it starts going away, it's tough to stay back. That's where you got to grab your jersey, chew on the corner, and trying to keep that front shoulder in. Hard to do against a guy like Miller.
And an inside fastball to Lucas Duda to get ahead, strike 1. Tried to hold up, but it's a called strike, and it's 0-2. So fastball inside paint. Then he zips that slider over, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, and you're sitting up there. What do I look for? You know, you pretty much, he's got to be looking slider.
Threw the fastball upstairs by him.
And that's when he comes back and he figures that, and then he throws the heat.
And it's well located because it's up above for a left-handed hitter.
There you go. The slider, heater. Yeah, there's not much you can do. I'll tell you, lefties have their work cut out for them off this guy.
Not many guys can go from looking like, oh, they're in trouble, to completely doing a 180 like Andrew Miller. Spun him out of there.
That snaps a string of 8 straight strikes. After a walk and a base hit by Merrifield, he gets back-to-back strikeouts. Still not out of the woods yet because Cuthbert can spoil it all with a base hit here. Now it's 2-0. Cuthbert is 0 for 3 on the day. Knocked him back off the plate again. 3-0. And it's kind of crazy. And I have to believe that some of this might be the conditions that the guys are playing in, because Miller just went from carving sharp, sharp, sharp to missing with 3 straight. And when you're talking about a field pitch like that breaking ball, got to be at times hard to get the good feel for it.
Absolutely.
Your fingers probably go numb.
That's what I'm saying. The grip of it is.
Matt, Rick, it's exactly that. Carl Willis just had the same conversation with Nick Goody. Goody said he could not feel his fingertips on certain pitches and wanted to lick his fingers but couldn't.
Fouled right back.
And that's why I think when the pitcher comes out for that first couple of hitters, it's a situation where you got to get used to it. You can't feel it, man. The grip of the baseball. They need water on their cap, the build of the cap, just to get some moisture on there because it's so slick.
Well, listen to this great sellout crowd up on their feet, making noise from Miller here. 2 on, 2 out, 3-2 pitch. Runners go. Strike 3 called. Cuthbert rung up to end the inning. Miller time prevails here in the 8th, and the Indians hang on to a 1-run lead. Take a look at our Pat O'Brien Chevrolet play of the game. Let's go back to the first inning. Michael Brantley with the bags juiced. Dropped one in shallow right field, scoring 2. And that's why the Indians have a 3-2 lead. First 5 all reached safely to start the game. Then Danny Duffy settled down and retired the next 10 in a row and only allowed 1 hit the rest of the way until he was yanked with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Brad Keller an inning and a third of scoreless relief, and now left-handed side armor Tim Hill to face Brantley. First pitch strike. Shoots it foul.
this is the sidewinder here.
Low, just missed the bottom of the zone.
You don't see many pitches where you have to pick that, you know, that little box where the ball comes out from about a foot off the ground.
Tim Hill is what you call a lesson in patience for an organization. He was a 32nd round pick in 2014. And now here he is in the big rounder right at the second baseman Merrifield. Not only was he a 32nd round pick, but he missed all of 2015. I'm assuming that was an elbow injury, but I'm trying to look in here. It just says due to injury.
Yeah, I wonder if he always pitched that way when they drafted him, from way down under.
Well, he's never started a game, so he's always been
a bullpen guy, almost like a specialist.
That's one of the things, though, that I love about baseball is how you can get a guy who was a 32nd round pick, not necessarily somebody that's obviously on anybody's radar, but if given an opportunity and finding maybe somebody in the organization to believe in him, still get an opportunity. Slowly tapped to first. 2 down.
Well, great seats remaining for the Tribe's second home series against the Tigers. That'll start on Monday. It'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All 4 games will start at 6:10. You can grab a $15 district ticket or a $10 KeyBank Kids ticket online only at Indians.com.
Took off, and Butera got a little bit of leather on it. It goes to the backstop. Yonder Alonso 0 for 3. Shoots one foul the other way. Alonso in his Indians home debut. He's obviously played in this ballpark before as a member of the visiting club with Oakland. Down the 1-1. Down and in. Fly ball, deep center field. Gordon back at the wall, makes the catch, and the side is retired. Indians go in order, and we go to the ninth.
and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. 3-2 Cleveland. And we go now to the 9th inning. Andrew Miller worked a scoreless inning, got out of some trouble. Had 2 on, nobody out, and then struck out 3 straight to end the inning. So it's Cody Allen time, looking for his 2nd save of the year. And he's got Jorge Soler, Alex Gordon, and Alcides Escobar due up.
Well, to end that last inning, that ball that Yonder Alonso hit, he crushed it to left center field. I know it was caught at the track, but I don't know if he could hit it much harder than that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some hard hit balls die and go nowhere.
Right.
That ball was really crushed. And as if this day hasn't been raw and bitter enough, now we get some raindrops here in the 9th inning.
Is that right?
3-2 pitch. I mean,
it's rain.
3-2 Indian sleep. Well, I'm not going to go out there and check and find out.
We'll ask Andre. You down there, Andre?
Of course he is. Got his hat on.
Of course I'm down here.
Oh, you're not talking to me.
I'm talking.
Is it raining or snowing?
It's rain for now, but it could turn into that other stuff that I refuse to say. By the way, after Yonder hit that ball, a couple guys yelled to him, "Welcome to Cleveland."
Yeah.
He smiled, shook his head, and said a word I won't say.
Well, that's true. Welcome to Cleveland. Remember, Brandon Moss felt that way.
But he crushed that.
He let it get in his head, though.
He did.
Yeah.
And I don't think Yonder will because.
Oh, no. I agree. But that ball that he hit there, that you can't hit it any harder than he hit it.
By the way, tomorrow, for those that want to know about the face mask, I'll have some good stuff for all of you. Just stay patient.
What do you mean? For
all
like,
the guys that are wearing the face mask, I've got some good info. That
you talking about on the helmets or the headgear under the hats?
The helmets.
Yeah. Because Geyer's going to get one, and there's a couple other players. What?
Soler's wearing it here.
Right.
You didn't tell me anything.
Yeah, but I know who talks to you. Loose never.
Loose lips sink ships.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I know.
Open that window. I'll see it.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. And Cody misses ball 4. The Royals get their leadoff man aboard again, 2nd inning in a row. Our storylines recap brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealers. Carlos Carrasco has been dominant against the Central, especially a year ago. He pitched well today, gave up a couple of runs in the first and then shut it down after that. Lindor Ramirez trying to ignite the top of the order. They both were part of the act in the 1st inning when all the runs were scored. Now it's Cody Allen trying to nail it down. And a first pitch strike to Alex Gordon, who is 1 for 3 today. And these two certainly have a history. Know each other well. You can see on the screen there when that shot of Ned Yost, the wet stuff falling down low. Four for 10, but 4 of those 4 hits, you see the 2 home runs. So throw it by him, got a piece. 1 ball, 2 strikes. See that wind whipping the pant legs of everybody on your screen. Down in the dirt. What a stop by Yan Gomes. And Soler has to stay put at first.
He's had a couple of those today, boy, where he gets up there and watch this curveball, and it gets down into the dirt, and he just puts that chest protector down and keeps that runner at first base. I mean, that one did not deflect away a lot. That's, you know, when you're a base runner in that situation, that's what you got to try and take advantage of. Get an extra base if you can. But boy, he did such a good job of keeping that one around the home plate.
And the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Blew the fastball by him. One down in the ninth.
Good heater away. There you'll see, just off the plate, a teaser. And it is well located, and he gets the first out, coming via the strikeout. What the heck is that?
Alcides Escobar lifts one foul out of play on the right side. 34,720. The attendance for today's home opener. Some have already taken cover, headed for shelter on a just raw, bitter cold day. Game time temperature was 41. It felt like it was in the 30s. Hasn't gotten any better. Now the 0-1 from Cody Allen. Just missed outside. They're jammed in at the bar, trying to stay warm, taking a little refuge.
Yeah, they're at the corner, man. They're like sardines in there. They see themselves.
Now the 1-1. Oh man, another great stop by Yan Gomes. And I know the way Cody Allen throws that curveball with the finger spiked on top of it, that there's always the opportunity, or there's always the potential, I should say, that this is going to happen.
Well,
but as a catcher,
he's prepared for it, though. But I'll tell you what, as we talked about the fingers, when you're out there pitching, maybe he can't feel that finger on the baseball, and he's having a hard time finding this release point. That's another excellent stop.
Two-1. Double play ball, perhaps. Lindor to Kipnis on to first. That'll do it. The Indians take the opener. 3-2 over the Royals. Wow, on an absolutely raw day, you can see Cody Allen telling Yan Gomes probably couldn't even feel his fingers on that baseball. But he gets a hard hit grounder to Lindor, who goes to Kipnis, on to Alonso to complete the double play to end the game. Cody Allen has his second save. Carlos Carrasco has his second win. And the Indians are now 3-4 on the year. Kansas City falls to 1-4. Danny Duffy will take the loss as he goes to 0-2. You don't see many games anymore where all the runs are scored in the first inning and then nothing the rest of the way.
It was amazing. You know, I expected it to be a low-scoring game all day long just because of the weather. And when I saw 3-2 in the first, I'm thinking, holy smokes, it's going against the grain right there. But I'll tell you what, they settled in. The pitchers finally did it, and it goes to show you this ball was not carrying today. You couldn't hit one out of here no matter how hard you tried. And you know, it ended up 3-2. The Indians win another one-run ball game that they've played a lot in now.
Boy, and a great salute to the fans who showed up and turned out for this one. Sold out house. It was raw, it was bitter, but many of them stood and cheered till the very end. The Indians win it by a final of 3-2. Final thoughts when we come back.